What's going on, y'all? It's Gramps, and obviously today is Pokemon Day, and we got our first look at Pokemon Legends EA. So I want to make a video breaking down the trailer and giving some of my thoughts on the game, and maybe a little bit of conspiracy about what we're going to see and stuff about the game. But let's jump into this trailer. Let's get into it, guys. We got the presents up at the beginning of the trailer. Here we go. And we're going to be pausing throughout to kind of just take note of some things. And first, right off the bat, we gotta pause right here, because first off, what is this corny fedora? Nothing to do with the game. What is up with this corny fedora? But secondly, I know it's been going around and it's like already this theory, but I truly believe that we're gonna find out sometime in this game, probably maybe even right at the beginning, that whatever main character you pick, whether it's the male or female character, we are directly related to Sycamore in some way. We literally look exactly like Sycamore. The hairstyle, the hair color, the face. This character looks exactly like Professor Sycamore. So, off the bat, I'm calling that right now. People are throwing around Johto, that maybe these are like related to Ethan and Lyra. Sycamore. Trust. You can stamp that right now. It just looks so good, man. It really does. You can just tell the step up from Scarlet and Violet graphically. It's just, it's there right away. Obviously, we see all these Pokemon that we get. And right here, we get our starters. We get Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile. It's such an easy choice for me. It's got to be Totodile. I feel like 75% of the fan base is going Totodile here. Let me know in the comments down below if you're not, because I swear I'm seeing nothing but people going with Totodile. There's the occasional people that are like been Chikorita stans or whatever, and Tepig fans that are like, no, they're overhated, whatever. Honestly, I can say it right now. Never been a fan of either of those starters. I'm not even the biggest Totodile fan. It's just like the best available option. I honestly was not hoping or wanting either of these three, but I think it brings up another fun discussion that I want to bring up, is whether these are going to get Kalos forms, Colossian forms, I don't know what it'd be called in terms of regionals like we got in Legends Arceus, or if these are going to get Mega Evolutions. I don't know which way to feel. I'm leaning towards regionals, which is like hard for me because it doesn't make sense, because I don't remember, truly I don't remember if all three of these or even any of the three of them were available in X and Y, because this doesn't take place in a different region. This is Kalos, and if these were available in X and Y and you were able to fully evolve them into their normal forms, why would they get a special form in this game? But I didn't fact check myself on that before I did this recording, so maybe they weren't in that game at all. Maybe they do have regional forms, but I think they're going to be Megas. I would rather have regional forms. Maybe that's a hot take, because I want Megas for the Kalos starters themselves. That's a whole nother topic to delve into, but like I said kind of earlier about the characters, let me know what you guys think. Are we gonna get Megas or regionals for these Pokemon? It just looks so good, man. We got our first look at the catching and battle mechanics right here, which is another big part. Obviously, if you're watching this, I'm assuming you know. We'll dive into that. Got to teleport up to the roof, and this is so cool right here. You were literally jumping off the roof, and it looked like they brought out like, it looked like the Rotom phone or whatever, to kind of like boing you across. I don't know. I just think that looked really cool. And we got our first look at our rival character. Obviously, if you pick the male pro tag, you get the female rival. If you pick the female, obviously in this case, you see the male rival right here. And the funny part is, if you look at these, they're just palette swaps on the characters, without the fedora and the other hat. This is literally the same hairstyle, same face, just different eye color and different hair color and different fit, which is just funny to me. And this is our biggest talking point right here. You see it right off the rip right here. It gets more in depth in the kind of aftermath part of this trailer. We see Mega Evolution for the first time here, which is awesome. I'm still so excited that Megas are back. I wish we saw a new Mega in this trailer. but we don't. But man, these mega designs look so good. Then we get some characters here. We get AZ, man. And I saw a funny tweet on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it today. They said, why is this terrorist running a hotel? And it's like just mad funny. I just want to bring that up because it's very funny. But I think something to pay attention to with AZ here is the fit, man. I saw this in Ruffle Rowlett's video because I watched that on the way to work. And you notice he's got the black kind of shirt on and the green bow tie. And if we go back into, well, we don't know his name yet, obviously, at this point in the trailer. But this guy right here, if I can get it lined up right. Let's just wait a second. Did I go too far forward? No. This right here is Vinny. Well, right at the rip, Vinny looks like Lysander. He's got the, like, the sideburns, whatever, right? He works for the Quizartico. I think I'm saying that right. Look at his palette. It's the exact opposite. Green shirt, black tie. I think that's going to be symbolic in some way. I don't feel like Pokemon does these things for no reason. I don't know if one of them's the good guy or the bad guy yet, but we'll see. And we get our first look at Zygarde right here. Dog Zygarde, best Zygarde form. Argue with a wall. And that's the end of our little overview trailer. But then we get this more deep dive right here, which is where we get the bulk of our info and the stuff I want to talk about the most. And honestly, let's just pause right there. It's taking place entirely in Lumio City. Obviously, this is what we expect, is what I expected. I'm still struggling to fully see how that happens. Mostly because we have these different types that, like, I don't understand how they fit into Lumio City, if that makes sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, are they going to have some ice habitat for ice types and stuff like that? Like, some Pokemon make sense to be in the city environment. Like, I don't know if we saw it in the previous trailer or if it's in this trailer, but there's, like, Garbodor hanging out by trash cans in an alleyway. That makes sense. But where do other types of Pokemon fit into this fold of being in a city? Obviously, we haven't seen all the wild areas, but we'll see. Get some more Pokemon, some evolutions confirmed. And look at this, man. We get holograms here. So we don't know how far in the future this game is. I believe that this game takes place a little bit after X and Y. I'm going to say probably like 5 to 10 years at most after X and Y timeline-wise. But interesting to see if these holograms play a big role or something like that. I just think it's cool to kind of see, like, the technology, you know, going from a Legends game. Oh, here it is right there. Let's go back a second right here. You see like the Trubbish and the Garbodor, like, they're hanging out by the trash in the city in the alleyway. That makes sense. Where do other Pokemon fit into the fold here of, like, we don't know how big this dex is, but where do they fit into the fold of all being in Lumio City, even in these wild zones that they're calling them? I don't know. Sylveon, Chandelure. This game just looks so, like, it doesn't look in some angles as polished, but trust me, the art design here is so much better. Like, just look at the models. The models look so much better. They look so good. And the lighting just looks so much better than Scarlet and Violet. Like, not to nerd out about graphics or anything. Then we get our cast of characters here. Urbane and Tawny. I don't know if those names are going to be significant, but I think that's also an interesting thing. So we're staying in a hotel run by AZ. So, like, I saw on Twitter today as well. I keep bringing up Twitter, but I think it's honestly a place where a lot of good discussion goes about this, like, kind of speculation, stuff like that. That also leads me to believe that our characters are a little bit older than, like, the normal, like, age that you are. Like, I feel like you're, like, what, like 10 or 11, like, your technical character in age when you play, like, a Pokemon game. If our rival, like, looks the same age as us, right, and our rival is employed at the hotel, we're probably, like, at least, like, 15, 16 in this game, which kind of, I don't know. I guess maybe Pokemon's moving a little bit, like, more kind of trying to upscale. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Is trying to cater a little bit to a more older audience with that type of thing and kind of make more mature, like, storylines. Maybe I'm just yapping, but I thought it's something that needs to be said. Something that needs to be said. We get our first look at Quizartico. Nailed that pronunciation, by the way. And then obviously here's the CEO, Jet. I kind of paused it right after, but that was Jet the CEO. Vinny's the secretary. Look at the fits, man. They counter each other. They counter each other. That's important. It has to be. It has to be. And this is where everything goes crazy. We have these wild zones. We don't know how many we have, but we have at least 8, as we see here. We had 1, 2, and this is number 8. So we have at least 8. I think we're gonna have more than that. People were at first speculating that we're gonna have 5 until they saw the 8. Just look, the UI looks so nice. I know people are like kind of complaining about the UI. They're saying it looks cluttered, saying it doesn't look like complete. I personally like it. I love the map. The map looks nice. I love like the bottom left. You can see like your lineup of Pokemon. That just like looks sleek, and it just looks polished, man. It looks polished. I don't care what anybody says. It looks polished to me. And that little like flutter animation when you catch, it's great. And I tried to pause in time, but you saw right there in this game, when you kind of faint a Pokemon, they don't faint right away. They don't just like die or faint and the battle ends. They kind of like pass out and you can still throw a Pokeball. That's exactly what happened right there. And you're still able to catch them. So I think that's awesome. That's really cool. That is, it looks so cool, man. The register, the Pokédex at the top. This is where it gets crazy. This is where I absolutely lost my mind in the morning. We're pausing it right there. We'll watch it. This game has real-time battle mechanics, man. Real-time battle mechanics in my Pokemon game, man. It's a dream come true. I don't think this is like them going away from turn-based mechanics. Turn-based mechanics will be back. They're going to be back probably in classic remakes. They'll probably even be back for Gen 10. Like, we know that with the first Legends games, that the Pokemon Company with these games kind of wants to be more ambitious in their gameplay. We had strong. Granted, it wasn't as well received, I think, as this is going to be, but we had agile style, we had strong style. It showed they were trying to make a difference. Even the catching mechanics were different in that game. But this time, you can see right here, all your moves are pretty much mapped to a button. Like, I don't know what button it is in this case, but like, say you press X on your controller for a water gun or whatever. But watch what happens. They move with you. You move, your Pokemon moves. Look at Totodile running for his life versus Rollout. It's like so like cool looking. It's just cute looking, honestly. And you can physically dodge in a Pokemon game. It kind of feels like almost inspired by the anime. It just looks so cool. And then you literally shoot your water gun at the running away Tepig and hit him. Look at how Protect works. Protect kind of works as a counter. Stealth Rock is like, instead of, Stealth Rock how it usually works is on a switch in, you get hit by Stealth Rocks. They dig in, what does it say? Like they dug into your feet or whatever. They work as like a trap in this game. That is so cool. That is so cool. We switch out here. And this is another thing I want to talk about right off the bat. Not aligning with battle mechanics, because we're going to probably talk a little bit more about battle mechanics. I got to make sure I talked about everything I wanted to talk about battle mechanics in this video, but I genuinely think I could do a full video talking about battle mechanics and doing just a deep dive in like maybe how this system works, because there's so many intricate things we can talk about with this battle system. For example, I think the last 2 things I want to really quick mention about the battle system in this video is, actually no, 3 things here. 1, how will status conditions work in this battle system? Like, how will burn, sleep, paralysis factor in here? Like, if you're paralyzed and are you just not able to move and dodge, you kind of just get stuck. Same thing with burn. Does burn just slowly tick away damage? Because we don't really have a turn. It kind of like, you kind of move in turns a little bit, but there's no like official end of turn, I guess. It doesn't seem that way. So do you just get like your attack style lowered or something like that? I like I said, don't know. Same thing with sleep. Like, do you just not move for a while? Is there just like a kind of cooldown? Because it doesn't look like you can just like use items in battle either. It kind of just looks like you're kind of just jumping in and that's it. But that takes me into this as well. We kind of understand how everything else is going to work here. They kind of explain that moves kind of move at different speeds, and obviously you can see that moves actually have cooldowns as well, which is cool. I'm obviously assuming higher powered moves have higher cooldowns, but how does speed factor into this here? Does speed affect your cooldowns, the speed stat? Does speed affect how good you are at dodging? I don't know. And on top of that, what about the size of the Pokemon? As we can see here, this Onix looks really small. It does not look as big as an Onix should be. Maybe that's just because they brought back Pokemon sizes from Legends Arceus, and this is like the smallest Onix you can find. I don't know. But it'd be interesting to see how size impacts this as well, because is Snorlax just not going to be able to dodge anything if he's in this game? There's no shot with how fast that flamethrower just happened. Snorlax is not dodging that, man. There's no chance. Like I said, there's so much I feel like I could go to in depth. I could probably make a full 30-minute video just talking about this battle system and the fun intricacies of it. Oh yeah, one last thing about it is will there be like situational battles? For example, I'm assuming you'll be able to fight Pokemon in the water in this game, but how do some Pokemon factor into that? Obviously, if you're like a flying type, you can fly over the water, right? But if you're not a water type and you're like Onix, I'm assuming an Onix can't swim. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they just do like the raft thing like they did in Scarlet and Violet, where you just kind of get your Pokemon sits on a raft during the battle, but that's probably what they do. It's probably the easiest thing for them to do. I just think it'd be cool if there was like situational kind of impact to it too, like kind of environmental things. Maybe you can also damage the environment too. I don't think that's something that they're going to do, but like I said, there's so many interesting talking points about this battle system and about the Pokemon itself in it. Like, that's another thing, obviously, I already mentioned, is like the size of the Pokemon here. Are there Pokemon sizes? Why is this Onix so small? Maybe the Onix is so small, so it kind of works in this battle system because it's not to scale. But let's move on.
Swap Pokemon if you need to and find the right moment to unleash a move.
It just looks so cool, man. We got Megas back, man. That makes me so excited too.
Mega evolution. When a trainer's keystone resonates with the Mega Stone held by their Pokemon.
That was another thing I wanted to stop for. Are held items back in this game? We did not have held items in Legends Arceus, and I thought we were gonna have held items in this game, but a lot of people didn't think we were gonna have held items in this game because they weren't in Legends Arceus, and that was the only Legends title, so it would kind of, to have continuity, not have items in this game. But how else would Megas work without being able to hold their Mega Stone? And it says right here that when a trainer's keystone resonates with the Mega Stone held by their Pokemon. I think this game will have held items and abilities and natures and all that normal battle jazz that's usually in Pokemon games, which some of that was left out of Legends Arceus. I think this game's going to bring them back. And I think the main reason, obviously, is because Megas and holding Mega Stones. But I think items might work differently in this new battle system. We'll see.
The Pokemon will do more.
I hope so. I think they could do some cool stuff with items.
It'll unlock a new...
And then you can see right here, in this bottom right corner right here, you have this kind of gauge / timer. When you Mega Evolve in normal Pokemon games right now, you obviously keep your Mega for the entire battle. That's not how it's working in this game. You kind of have this gauge and timer that, see, you can see it slowly going down. And you can also see right there that Kangaskhan hit not just the Garbodor, it hit a bunch of the Trubbish around it. So you can damage multiple Pokemon as well, it looks like. Maybe that's exclusive to Megas, I don't know. More Pokemon getting confirmed. Look at our map. And right here, there's actually two things right here first we can talk about. Zygarde cells. Not really excited about that because it feels like it's going to be like the Spiritomb quest from Legends Arceus, which honestly, I don't even think I ever finished it because I was like, I don't feel like going around and searching for all these, and it's looking like that's what it's going to be. I really hope not. That would be terrible in my opinion. I don't think anybody liked that.
Battle in its favor.
Let's see if I can get the pause right here.
As Lumiose continues its transformation
1
into a
second.
city that
Come on,
protects
let me get the
both people
pause.
and Pokemon,
It's so hard to
who
pan
knows
through these
what's next?
trailers. Is this Looker's office? It looks like Looker's office. I'm not sure if it is, but man, if we get Looker in this game too, that'd be so cool. Maybe it's not even Looker, maybe it's somebody taking over for
Encounters
Looker.
and experiences
Had to mention
will
that.
await you.
It looks so
Pokemon
good.
Legends Z8,
It looks so good.
coming late 2025.
And then we got one more thing to end off the trailer here. A little teaser at the end. Rotom phone rings. What could it be? This is a promotion match announcement. And then we get this little animation here with Prism Tower. I don't know what this could be. We don't know really anything about there being kind of like a competitive scene in this game, which a lot of people were speculating this was like hinting at online. I think this is more hinting at like some sort of battle league that your character takes place in, or your character participates in this game, kind of, because we don't have any mention of gym leaders or anything. Obviously we could, but if the game takes place entirely in Lumiose City, we're not going to have like gym challenges. We're not going to have that. So I think maybe this could be like your replacement. Maybe you have these like promotion matches to hit different ranks and you have to hit a certain rank or whatever. Either way, excited to see what happens with that. And I just want to make sure I hit all my points here of things I had written down that I wanted to talk about this game. And it honestly looks like we hit all of them. The last thing I really want to talk about is Zygarde. If we go over to Zygarde here, where exactly was Zygarde in this trailer? We had the dog Zygarde. Let's just go to the cell. We're talking about Zygarde. We got a Zygarde cell on screen. That works. I think another interesting thing in this game, I hope they don't do it because they just did it, is I could see Zygarde almost working like a companion throughout the game, kind of like Miraidon and Koraidon from Scarlet and Violet. Zygarde has all these forms, and I think all the forms could do different things. The dog form, I don't know exactly how big it is, but it could be like your like rideable, almost like a bike. Obviously, like Koraidon and Miraidon were literally bikes, pretty much. But that could be that kind of traversal. The 50% form could be like your water rideable, and then the complete form. If I found this out today watching the Hidden Power Pod, shout out to the Hidden Power podcast. Those three guys are great, but somebody super chat today, I think it was, and they brought up some unknown lore. I didn't even know this about Zygarde's complete form, that those four like kind of like straps almost, it looks like on the back of it, are wings. That thing can fly. So there you got your flyable too. Like I said, I hope they don't do this, but I just had to mention it, man. I had to mention it. That's all for my rambling today. That is my breakdown of this trailer and my analysis of what we could see in this game.